ஸ்ரீ பகவானின் திருவாய் மொழிகள் இளைஞர்களுக்கு வாழ்வில் மிகச்சிறந்த வழிகாட்டியாய் அமைந்தன.
Yes, suppose your parents are not permitting you to do something, but your heart wants to do. Of course, you will be affected. There's a great chance that you're likely to fail. Not that you will fail, there's a very good chance that you would fail. Suppose your parents want you to do something and you don't want to do it, you're most likely to succeed. Even though there's a chance that you could still fail because your heart is not there, but the chances of success are more if your parents' blessings are there. Now this we have studied again over a period of 2 decades. Actually we have verified and we have found out, besides the answers we get from the collective conscious, we have also checked out actually, and we found that's what is actually happening. You see, there's a thing called swadharma, What is it you are destined for? Everybody here has got a purpose. You've not come here for nothing. There's a purpose behind why you have come here. And the moment you discover that, there's no more conflict. Conflict arises when you have not yet discovered why you are here. The moment that happens, then all conflict ceases. The problem is you are searching for that. You've not yet discovered that. Until that, there would definitely be conflict. But then as you go along, we have taught you several methods here. If you follow them, you would discover why is it you are here. Once that happens, there's no more conflict. The moment you realize that your thoughts are not under your control, that they're automatically moving on, you would strangely discover that you become very positive because you are no more responsible. The moment you realize you are no more responsible, you become very positive. You are free of guilt, you are free of all complexes, and suddenly you discover a lot of energy because there's no conflict. In the absence of conflict, what is there is energy, and with energy you become very positive. Try this and see. There is a difference in quality. You could be watching the Prime Minister of your country speaking on television. That is awakening to the Antaryamin. But suppose by some chance the Prime Minister were to jump out of the television and land up in your dressing room, and that is awakening to the presence. Suppose there is an ant. That ant has individual consciousness. Suppose there are 2 individual ants, then a third ant very naturally emerges. You could call it the collective ant. Like if you were to place, let us say, 3 pyramids together, 3 triangles, the 4th triangle automatically emerges. It's the base triangle. Similarly, the moment you have 2 individual consciousnesses, you have a third one, which you could call the collective ant. If there are 10, then all the 10 put together, there arises a collective ant. This collective ant, its intelligence, its power is far superior to that of the individual ant. And where is this ant? It is everywhere among those 10 ants and nowhere. In other words, it is the Antaryaman. Now this collective ant is very protective about the ant species wherever they are in the world. This happens to snakes, this happens to deer, this happens to cattle. We have birds flying down from Siberia to a place called Vedantangal in Tamil Nadu. Now as these birds fly in, there's a particular gentleman there who has been authorized by the government to arrest anybody trying to shoot a bird or harass a bird. The government has passed laws. These birds come all the way from Siberia, and the moment somebody comes out with a gun or with a stick to beat up a bird, the birds fly 3-4 kilometers away from the place to this man's house and circle it. So this man knows the birds are in danger and he goes there. Now how do the birds know that the government has passed such a law? The collective bird consciousness is fully aware of it. And when they build nests, they build at a particular height depending on what's going to be the rainfall that particular year. So the farmers watch the height of the nests, and accordingly they sow paddy or groundnuts. If the birds are very low, the nests are very low, they go for groundnuts. If the rainfall is going to be less. The nests are very high, they go for paddy because rainfall is going to be high. Now not the best people in the world know what's going to be the rainfall, but the birds know very much. So we can go into a number of examples where you could deal with the collective consciousness. Like if you take all our campuses, you will find the snakes are very rarely visible and they would not strike anybody. That's because we have done special pujas. We have spoken to the collective snake consciousness that our people here should not be affected, and the agreement is we will not kill them. And that's how it works here. So you have different collective consciousnesses. So the ant collective consciousness is the ant god. The deer collective consciousness is the deer god. The fish god. You have all these people, and whenever you enter into an agreement, you will see it really holds. For rats, you have to enter into an agreement with Ganesha, and the rats won't trouble you. Similarly, there is a collective human consciousness. This is the presence which comes into you. You can call this also God. And God is very protective about it. He's like your father and mother, Very, very protective, non-judgmental, very kind, very compassionate, very concerned. So this collective human consciousness comes into you as a presence. The whole idea of this work is that we must change the community, The great advantage is by changing a few people, we can affect the whole community. Otherwise, this work would be impossible. So the whole idea is the transformation of all Indian youth. We want the youth of India to be completely transformed. And you are the army. Through you, we are going to do that. We are working to make you happier human beings, to make you far more intelligent than what you are. You're already intelligent, but we will make you far more intelligent and highly focused on your academics. So when all that happens to you, you would naturally be transmitting this state to the other youth of India. And that's why we have set our target as 2007. By 2007, all the Indian youth must be at very high levels of consciousness. And you could well understand what the implications are. That's why I said after 2007, India would race ahead at an unbelievable speed, and poverty would soon be a thing of the past. You would no more have these dirty, filthy roads. You would no more have these huts. They would just disappear. You're going to see that. You already know that so many of our devotees have become millionaires, how wealthy they are, how prosperous they are. From zero to somewhere, they just flown off in a few months, so many of them. So now this will happen on a very large scale, very, very large scale. And that's how we are going to lift India out of its poverty. There's no other way. See, when things are conditional, when there's conditional love, conditional joy, conditional peace, things have to move in cycles. That very condition, that by which you rise, you would fall by that only. If you have worked very, very hard and you have become prosperous, that very hard work would destroy you in the end. You would have gone to pieces. So you would definitely fall through the way you rose. That's why I think as long as things are conditional, you will be going through these cycles. That's why you must jump out of this cycle. That is why you have got to discover unconditional love and unconditional joy. Then you escape this cycle. Otherwise all things would go in cycles. That is very natural, that is. I can't go very deep into all these things because these answers are meant to be very, very short. Maybe in some of the courses we could go in great depth into these things. See, what I want from you people is, I want you to feel for this country. You see the poverty, you see the injustice, you see the inequality, you see the terrible suffering of the people here. We are over 1 billion people, and the vast majority of them live below the poverty line. And even those who are above the poverty line, look at our lives, look at the way our country is organized, the corruption, the directionless way in which the country is moving, so aimless, so purposeless. Life is miserable here. So you must feel for the people, your heart must flower, where you are not only concerned about yourself, but you must be concerned about the people around you. And the flame must be there in you. I must do something for these people, because you are at that age. You are not yet become cynical. You are still very positive in your thinking. So I want you to feel for this nation, this great nation, whose only vision was mukti or enlightenment. That's what this nation has lived for. And today look at it. Look at its condition, the physical condition, the spiritual condition. Everything is in such bad shape. It's degenerate. And you are part of that. And it is your duty to transform this. The elders have failed. What have they done? They have landed this country in a mess. There is no more use depending on these people. It is in your hands. You alone can transform this. And here I am telling you, I will raise your levels of consciousness and I will give you the power to raise that of those around you. And once that is done, and I give you specific deadlines, 2007, December, it is possible all of you could have risen to that level, whereby you can give it to others. And that will not take a long time at all. It can be very, very fast. And you would have a new country. Poverty would still remain for some time, but everybody would be positive about it. They would have hope in their hearts. You would see politics changing, you would see education changing, everything would begin to change. And by the time we arrive at 2012, not only would we be enlightened, we would also have a physically beautiful country, a prosperous country. Why should we live in poverty? There's no need for that. We could make all this happen, and it is in your hands. Therefore, with this partnership between us and you, I have to use that word just for convenience sake. I don't see myself as separate from you at all. We should achieve this in quick time and quite easily. Things are already beginning to happen. You must be quite aware about the transformation that has happened to thousands of youth and what they have been achieving. So it's there for us to see. And it is definitely in the realm of possibility. And in the coming months we are going to race ahead. Now that we have decided also to give you full enlightenment, it's going to be very, very fast. And in recent times, because we have received a lot of support from the government has also assured us of all help. We definitely feel a lot more secure and safer. Therefore, we can move quickly ahead.
ஆல் இண்டியா யூத் காங்கிரிகேஷனுக்கு வந்திருந்த இளைஞர்களுக்கு ஸ்ரீ பகவான் வாழ்வில் வெற்றி அடைய பரிபூரண ஆசீர்வாதம் அளித்தார். ஸ்ரீ பகவானின் அருட்செய்தி இளைஞர்களுக்கு நல் பாதை காட்டி நின்றது. அதில் பெற்ற ஊக்கத்தினால் ஆல் இண்டியா யூத் காங்கிரிகேஷனில் கலந்து கொண்ட இளைஞர்கள் அந்த பரந்தாமனின் சந்நிதியில் கல்வி விரதம் மேற்கொண்டார்கள்.